Hi everyone, today we are going to look at the direct and inverse proportionality. Alright, so if two amounts are directly proportional, when one increases then the other increases at the same time. So if this is directly proportional, that tends to be what happens. So one goes up, the other one goes up at the same rate. Okay, so we tend to write, and this is something you need to kind of get to grip with and comfortable with it. If A is proportional to B, we write A is proportional to, that's what that symbol represents over here. So A is proportional to B, and that means basically what I've just kind of said, so A is proportional to B. However, that means it goes up by a certain rate, but of course that rate we don't know, so we tend to instantly replace this proportional to with equals some multiple of B. All right, so A is equal to some multiple of B. And what you'll find in examiners' mark schemes, they will see this written down, the idea of saying you writing down A is proportional to or is equal to some constant times by B. All right, whatever those values are. All right, because K is a constant, you've got to find it, and it's called the constant of proportionality. All right, which is why it's always K, because again, it's a terminology which is accepted and widely recognised, and certainly within the GCSE mark schemes, it's always there. All right, so the constant of proportionality does not change; only the numbers around it can. All right, so let's look at some examples in relation to this. So if I said to you C is directly proportional to D, when C is 32, D equals 4. Find the value of C when D equals 7. So we've got to use this idea of saying, well, C is proportional to D, and we're going to instantaneously write C is equal to some constant times by D. Okay. We're then going to put in the numbers that we've got to start with. Here, C is equal to 32, D is equal to 4. So I'm going to put those two numbers in. So 32 is equal to 4 times K. All right, so literally just putting those numbers into there, and then rearranging that, so 32 divided by 4 is going to give me 8, and therefore K is 8. Okay, so that is basically the first step, find out what K is. You should then write what that means then. So what we're saying now is C is equal to, now that we know K, D. So C is equal to 8D. This is now your formula which you can use for the second part of the question. All right, and again, this is very typical of exam questions where you get the first bit, a piece of information to find K, and then from there, you then work something out. So find the value of C when D is 7. So when D is 7, so 8 times 7 is going to give you 56. All right, and that's going to give you your solution. All right. So obviously there's some loads of questions on these on the website. But before we kind of mention that, let's just look at inverse proportion. All right, so inverse proportionality is the idea of saying, well, as one goes up, one goes down. All right, so how we write this one is slightly different because it's not going to be directly proportional. It's not just equals K. All right, so what we're going to do, as I'll show you, is if F is inversely proportional to G, when F equals 7, G equals 2, so find the value of G. So what we do, slightly different, is that we put 1 over G. All right, because F is inversely proportional to G. So that means essentially 1 over G. Okay, so we're writing down that F is proportional to 1 over G, and then that tells you that inversely proportional to. All right, so if you've got another question which talks about inverse proportionality, then if something is inverse proportional to something, then the something essentially goes at the bottom of a fraction. Okay, we now do what we've done before, is we put in the equals K, okay, and that will go at the top, so equals K over G. So it's still inversely proportional to G, but of course we've got this constant over here, and now we're going to put these two numbers in, so F equals 7 and G equals 2 into this to figure out what K is, again that constant, so put the numbers in, so 7 equals K over 2, so 2 times 7 is going to give you 14, so that's going to be K, and like we did last time, I'm now going to rewrite this with the value of 14 in there, so F is equal to 14 over G, and then answer the second part of the question. Well, find the value of F when G is 5. So 14 divided by 5 is going to give you 2.8, and that is the value of F. Okay, so there's going to be a solution. So whether or not it's directly proportional or inverse proportional, the methods are very, very similar. You're just going to put equals K, but if it's inversely proportional to something, whatever that something is, goes at the bottom. Of course, then it's about substitution and putting numbers in. All right, so please do go to maths-school.co.uk and do some practice questions on there. But of course, if you need to come back to the video and look at it again, then obviously you can at any time. Thanks for listening.